Well, good morning and welcome to Barb's Craft Room. Recently, I went with my husband on a motorcycle retreat. I call it a retreat, but it was actually a rally. And I brought my supplies with me so when I had some downtime, I could make stuff. Well, one of the things I brought was this free download of words. I don't even know where I got it. Well, it says get more free printables at www.hgdesigns.com. I'm not real savvy on how to print, so I just printed it as it was, and it seemed to work out just fine. I also brought along a napkin, and while I'm sitting there doing nothing, I cut these apart. I cut these, some of them, not even all of them, just a few. You can tell I didn't cut them all. And I tore up my napkin into pieces. Here's some of the pieces that I took. You know, even the edges, I turned them into something fun. You can actually take those stitches out and open it up, and you still have usable fabric. Don't throw anything out, apparently. But I took these words and I just glued them on strips of this fabric, and they seem to turn out cool. I know there's other people out there who sew them, but I didn't have a sewing machine. I don't have one here either. But look how cool they look. So I made quite a few of them. Here's some more. So I just have a bunch. And if I wanted to, I could stitch it if I wanted to, but just a little bit of glue. It comes up, just glue it back down. Using the right glue, it doesn't usually come back up. Then I had a stamp, and I stamped on them little pieces of fabric. I stamped it and then I tore it. So it wasn't always an accurate tear. There's also flower stamp I stamped on. Didn't work out so, it wasn't so dark, but it still looks pretty cool, I thought. I didn't bring very many stamps with me. And here's where I opened the bottom of the edge. So this one has some stitching in it still. You can't see it very well, but I still think it will work out. And today I had these other strips of fabric just on my desk. And I thought, well, I know what I'll do with these. I will make some page edges, maybe. So I have a journal here. So I thought I would make a page edge. Could even be a tuck spot if I do it correctly. But I don't want to create it on the page itself, but it'll probably go on this page. And it has these other pieces of fabrics laying around. Let's see if you can see what I'm doing. Yeah. And I have these papers laying around. Bits and odds and ends just laying around, which I always have laying around. So I could create they call these things? Snippet. A snippet roll without it being a snippet. It's just going to be a snippet that I create on my page. Just these little pieces laying around. This is some tulle. Can't really see it very well. But then I'll just layer it up how I like it. Do some paper here. There's papers. Paper, fabrics, all kinds of fabric. And give it a balance. There's a piece of words. And you can add one of those beautiful words on here. That one's kind of too big. I am free. Try one word. Do I have just one word? Here's one word. Bad ass. I'm not quite fond of the word, but it'll still work. And if your pieces are too big, you know, you can always cut them. Cutting works. I have some colored lace down here. That looks pretty. Anything goes. Nothing is off limits. When you're creating, you're creating. You create what you like to create. You know, they say beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And yes, it very much so is. What I think is pretty, you might not think is pretty. And that's perfectly okay. A little bit better. Let's see what else we got laying around here. Have some tiny elements. Tiny elements? I know there's some tiny elements here somewhere. What I got? My little box of tiny elements. Oops. Oh, look. There's a lace heart in here. That one might be too big, but I could cut it. Little heart, maybe a butterfly, a mushroom, yeah, it's looking good. I know I'm not very talkative. I'm sure you don't mind. Oh, look. Let's see. I think it's a 6. There we go. I said I wasn't going to create it on there, but I absolutely did. So, now that we have this, we'll just glue it down. And I'm going to glue it down with some Fabri-Tac. If you have a sewing machine, a good thing to do right now would be just to tack it down a little bit with maybe some Scotch Create glue or some kind of glue that is temporary, and then go to your sewing machine and stitch. I used to have a sewing machine, and I sold it. I sold it for $75 because, and it was a vintage sewing machine. It was probably, I don't know, 30, 40 years old. I sewed my daughter's bedroom things with it, like her curtains and that one. I was pregnant, but yeah, she's 41 now, so that would have been a good sewing machine if I knew how to use it. I don't know. I think I just forgot. I don't know about you, but I wasn't a real good seamstress to start with. So when I just didn't touch that sewing machine, I forgot how to use it. Maybe I did it on purpose. Who knows? I don't know. So this is so basic. Anyone can do it. If you don't like the strings, you can cut them off. I'll probably cut them off, but I'll probably cut them off in a little bit. So let's see if I can put it back on here the way I took it off. There are many, 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 many videos and on how to make things. There's no right or wrong way. You just create how you like and what you like. I'm trimming the edges on this with, I don't know, because it at least 3 sides. I don't know, for whatever reason, I just wanted to. Maybe it'll help it, maybe it won't. But this has some fringe on it, and I thought that was cool on this side. Fringy, fringy. And then this tool, it'll hang off, and it will be covered with that netting. This is actually a cheesecloth that my husband made wild blackberry jam, and I told him to save his cheesecloth for me so that I could add it into my junk journaling. And he said, okay. He didn't care. Okay, I'll do it. I don't even know if it looks the same or not. But maybe it's close. Do you think it's missing anything? I don't know. I'm going to cut these off. There we go. Now, when I go to put it in my book, I'm going to put glue on the page itself, not on my creation, because it's a little bit longer than the page, which is perfectly fine with me. But I wanted to make it work. even, you know. There. Now we have a nice little tuck spot, and we can tuck in a journal card. Here we go. What do you think? This is my journal that I'm working on. And it has quite a few pages yet to be worked on. So I'm going to maybe make videos on the different things I'm going to put in this journal. Thank you for visiting, and I hope you enjoy this video. Tune in for another simple page decoration at another date. Thanks for watching.